Hello everybody, Joe Domino, your Director of Golf here. Going on some of our golf tips for this season, and I'd like to introduce Matt Cervolo, who is our first assistant golf professional here at Glen Eagles. It's great to have you with us, Matt.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Joe.
Awesome, awesome. Matt's going to give us a little idea on hitting some chip shots here. All right, we're in a little bit of lower cut, and he's going to kind of give you an idea of setup, ball position, and then carrying the ball on the green. How much do I hit it in the air? How much do we let it roll? And Matt, great having you with us. Just go ahead and...
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so today we're talking about chipping and what types of shots we can hit around the greens. So what I like to think about, or my first impression when I get to the golf ball and I'm around the green, is the lie I have, the ball position, and the stance, right? Also, I want to have a little bit of shaft lean, okay? My hand's a little bit forward, right, Joe, when we hit these lower shots?
Listen, it's as Matt's saying, he wants to have that handle stays a little bit in front, because that kind of helps you with a little bit of the bounce on the club, right?
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
When we use the 56, it has less loft than a 60. So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate this for you really fast. So what we wanna do is have the ball a little bit more back in our stance, okay? Want to have my hands a little bit forward, okay, and I want to make sure that my backswing is the same as my follow through. I don't want to have a shorter backswing and a longer follow through. I want to kind of have them equal out, correct?
Yeah, yeah. You kind of feel a little bit of rhythm when you get that, right?
Correct.
A little bit here to here instead of, like you said, short and trying to flip it a little bit.
You know, and I also see people do this move right here where they get there and they flip their hands, you know?
That move right there, is we see that a lot, and that really just takes that club and gets it up and top the shot.
Absolutely.
Or sometimes they stick the club in the ground, right?
Absolutely.
So, and look at your left arm. That baby doesn't move, does it?
Right.
Like there's what you said, on equal distance on both sides to get that.
And we want to feel like Joe was saying too, to touch on that, we want to feel like we rotate through the golf ball, right? We don't want to stop and flip our hands, right? We want to rotate our chest to the target. So
100%.
Ball position's going to be a little bit back, right? My hands are going to be a little bit forward, and I'm going to go ahead and go back and through. And as you can see, my backswing matched my follow through. The ball stayed lower to the ground because I'm using a 56, and we have a lot more green to work with. Now, if you have less green to work with, you're going to use a 60, or if you want to get it a little bit higher, right? Or you could use a 56 and open the face up. Joe, do you agree with that?
Sure. And if you noticed on your follow through with your arm swing, how straight you kept the club face, the ball was like dead at your target.
Correct.
So by keeping those arms moving, well, you kept that baby nice and straight towards the target.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to hit it a little bit higher, my thought is obviously the ball a little bit more in the middle of my stance. I want to have the face a little bit open. I can still use the same club. I'm using a 56. I can just launch it a little bit higher. And like we were saying before, you don't launch it higher by flipping your hands, right? You launch it higher by opening the face up a little bit and using your backswing and follow through, right? Being exactly pretty much equal, okay?
And you'll notice where your face was on the follow through. See how you kept your face there?
Exactly.
We didn't like turn it over,
no,
right?
And there's no, trying to force the ball up in the air. You don't want to force it up in the air. You want to use the bounce of that club. And what I mean by the bounce of that club is over here, right behind the club, you can see there's a bounce. So we have to utilize the bounce instead of using our hands or our body to get this ball more up in the air. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to do this. So the ball's going to be a little bit more center, not far back. Face is a little bit open, and I'm going to go ahead and
Excellent.
hit a nice little high shot. Lands, hit soft. So there's multiple ways of hitting this shot, but ultimately you always want to check your lie. You want to make sure your setup is good, and you want to make sure we're taking the wrist out of the golf shot, right? It's more shoulders go back and through, right? We want to match the backswing and the follow through.
Yeah, very good stuff. Let me ask you a question in regards to You know, how many wedges do you carry in your bag?
I have 3 wedges. I have a 50 degree, 56, and a 60.
Okay, so you've got the different wedges. So, and I know it comes from, you know, fuller swing, a little more distance.
Sure.
But do you sometimes feel that you change maybe around the green sometimes?
I do, absolutely. And that goes back to you checking your lie, right?
Checking your lie.
You want to see how much green you have to work with. That's a big thing too,
like if the
right?
pin's really far away?
If the pin's far away and you got a lot of green to work with, that's that first shot that I demonstrated, which we were talking about, right? That lower shot.
Right.
You don't
right.
want to fly the ball there, right? You have so much green to work with, you might as well hit a little bit lower shot in there, right? More controlled.
So kind of, you know, everybody carries, if we do 14 clubs in our bag, which we're allowed, but you're taking those wedges and using different things based on pin location,
Exactly.
you know, whether the green might be real firm or
Yes.
your lie, like you said, the lie's a little too tight.
Exactly.
Or when you get deeper in the rough, you're not going to hit a 40, you know, 48 degree or 50. You're going to maybe use that 56
Absolutely.
out of a more thicker lie to get it out, right?
Exactly, and especially in the rough too. You know, when you use a lower lofted club, the club has less time, right, for the ball to kind of slide up the face, right, slip under it. Which a lot of I see amateurs and I don't say call beginners get into the rough and use a 60 degree or a higher loft sand wedge, when you really should be using a little bit lower lofted club to try and keep that ball from sliding up the face or getting underneath it. You know, do you have anything to add towards that?
No, that's very good. So, you know, having those extra wedges is definitely to an advantage as you as a player, but just, you know, if you have questions in regards to when to use a 50 or 52 or 56, you know, come and see us and we can give you some great ideas on where that club's gonna be more to an advantage to you than using a 60 in here, and it would be at your disadvantage. So
Exactly,
correct?
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, you want to obviously, and we've said it before, is check how much green you have to work with. That's huge with chipping. Where is the pin? You know, how can I go ahead and fly this ball? Am I going to fly it a third? Am I going to fly it further than that? And if you're going to do a shorter shot, it's going to be reverse, right, Joe?
Oh, 100%, 100%. So. Listen, I hope you've, thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you, Joe.
You know, thank everybody. And once again, you know, come and see us if you have any questions in regards to, you know, working the ball around the green with a different club. So thank you for your time.